Hello, I'm Brian Esser from How To Automotive, and in today's video, I'm going to help you get your Jeep through smog. So my Jeep would not run the readiness monitor for the oxygen sensor. I had the toughest time, and I figured it out, so I figured I'd make a video for you guys, show you what I had to do to get my monitor to run so you can get your Jeep smog. So I put a lift kit on my Jeep. The Jeep was torn down for a couple months while I put the lift kit and gathered up all the parts and stuff like that. The battery was disconnected. I had no problems with the Jeep prior to doing this. Got it all back done. Took it on a trip up to Big Bear. Put close to 1,000 miles on the Jeep. So the registration became due. So I took it in for a smog. I didn't bother checking it. It had no check engine light on or anything. So I just assumed it would be good. Drove it down to the smog station. They smogged it, passed everything except for the oxygen sensor readiness monitor. It did not run. So my next step I did was, figured maybe I'm not doing the drive cycle what exactly it needs to run through the monitor. So I looked up the procedure for the drive cycle, and I, to the best of my ability, tried to duplicate that. And I drove it for a couple weeks trying to get those parameters. And as far as I'm concerned, I was able to meet them, but the car still did not run, or the Jeep still did not run the monitor. One of the things I wanted to rule out before I went into computer programming or anything like that was to make sure mechanically that the Jeep was sound. So I had not done the maintenance on it, such as spark plugs and stuff yet. So I went ahead and threw a set of spark plugs on it. While I was in there, I noticed that the oil filter housing was leaking, so I went ahead and changed that out. I wanted to make sure that there was no underlying problems such as vacuum leaks or a misfire that hadn't set the check engine light that was causing the monitor not to run. So I threw it up on jack stands, tried to run the drive cycles through it on the jack stands, and I thought I was going to get somewhere with that, but I was unable to. So what I noticed while I was looking at scan data was what the speedometer was reading versus what the computer was seeing was way off. So it says to drive it between 25 and 30 miles per hour for a certain amount of time and stuff. So I did that. But when I was looking at this scan data, I noticed that while it said I was doing 25 on the dash, I was really doing like 60 miles per hour according to the computer. So that sparked an idea like, okay, so the one thing I didn't do was reprogram the gear ratio and the tires, because mine is a manual Jeep, so I didn't think the gear ratio and the tires would. I thought it would affect the speedometer, but I never would have guessed it would actually affect the ability to run a readiness monitor. So what I ended up doing was going online, did a little research, and found a device that allowed me to reprogram it or rewrite the gear ratio and the tire size. So what I ended up getting was the JK Blaster. It's a little device that you plug into your OBD2 port, links through Bluetooth to your phone, and allows you to rewrite gear ratio and tire size, and actually let you do a few other cool things with lighting and stuff like that. This is not a sponsored post for this for the JK Blaster, not. It's just what I use to reprogram everything and get my Jeep through smog. So I went through the prompts on it, reprogrammed it, rewrote the gear ratio, and I rewrote the tire size. And then within 10 miles after doing that, it ran the readiness monitor. After putting thousands of miles on it before, it would not run the monitor. After reprogramming it, it took me about 10 miles. Monitor ran. Very next day, I got it smogged. So I wanted to make this video so that if you guys are having this problem and you haven't reprogrammed or your speedometer and your transmission and stuff like that, I recommend you do that before you go changing oxygen sensors or paying a bunch of money to diagnose it. One, you need to go ahead and do that anyways to correct your speedometers. So, and if your Jeep is an automatic, it'll definitely help with the shifting, the shift points and stuff like that by letting the computer know what gear ratio is in there. It's not so much critical on the manual Jeep, but on the automatic it's very critical. So go ahead and program that first, and then with any luck, you'll run the readiness monitor. I'm Brian Esser from How To Automotive. I'd like to thank you guys for watching and encourage you to subscribe for more valuable videos like this. Thank you again for watching.